Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last developer live stream of the year. My name is Rainy and joining me is Sydney, aka Fem. But yeah, we're very excited to be here finally. It's been 2 months since the last stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to be here. As always, let us know if there's any issues with the audio or anything. If usually there's a tendency that one of us is louder than the other one, or we're just generally really loud. So please do let us know. But hello, hi, welcome. We have a number of treats ready for you guys today. So it's going to be really exciting.
The chat's not showing up on the screen.
That's the thing. And that I like to either blame YouTube or Streamlabs OBS for. It never does.
Both. Let's go with both.
Yeah.
I like both.
It's just set to show and it never shows.
Is it just me or do we look a little blurry?
Do we? Actually, yeah, we do. It could be the quality of the stream.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I love these. They jingle.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny because I walk around and they jingle a little bit.
It's an OBS thing. Yes, probably is.
Probably not.
But yeah, thank you. I got these yesterday. They arrived this morning. Surprisingly good quality. You know, usually when I get Christmas hats on Amazon or something, it's just really crap. But this is surprisingly good. We got another one that I wish I got this one. But I think it looks cuter. And this is for Lauren. But I got the red. So
Lauren gets the cute one, obviously.
yeah. But yeah, happy holidays to everybody. Hope you all having a fantastic time with if you got plans, plans with family, friends, whatever it might be. Hope you all have a great time. We're actually closing today right after the stream and going on a break finally. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I have a replay of Cyberpunk ready for me, as well as what was I gonna play like that? Witcher. It's just CD Projekt Red stuff. What about you? What do you have planned to play?
Play? I don't know. I wasn't in the middle of answering a question. I wasn't ready for the question. Let's see, what am I gonna play? I'm probably gonna play I picked up Civilization again recently. So I'm probably gonna play a lot of that.
Yeah.
I've kind of like gotten into like the nitty-gritty of like the strategizing, so and I am enjoying the replayability of it, so whereas I didn't think I would. I don't know. Maybe
I don't
honestly,
know why
no, I'm kidding
iPad...
myself. I'm gonna be working. Let's be honest. I'll be working.
I'm not gonna. By the way, sorry, I don't know why my iPad just typed in Lackham B in the chat. It's just typing stuff on its own because it's touching the top of my monitor and apparently it's conductive. Sorry about that. But let us get to the fun stuff. So we got the QA channel up and running. Do we have a QA channel up and running?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We do have a QA channel up and running. You might be wondering, why do we even have a QA channel when we pretty much read the chat as it goes? Sometimes the chat goes too quickly, or sometimes one of us is explaining something and we're not looking at the chat. So if we miss something, the QA channel is your friend. It's on our Discord server. If you aren't in our Discord server, you can join right here. And then there's a channel in there that says Stream QA that you can put your questions in there. If you put your question in there, 100% we won't miss it. But if you put it in chat, it's going to be a quicker answer with the risk of, missing out. Bit of a risk
Speaking
reward.
of which, I need to address chat real quick. So one, yes, Civ is a time suck, but I've been playing it on my Switch, which
Switch
means,
Civ.
Yeah, so like I can when I'm grocery shopping and waiting in line, I can pull it out and like do a couple rounds, or like when I'm like wake up, I can like pull it out and like chill in my bed. So playing Civ on your Switch, the turns take longer, especially in the later game because Switch. But I've actually really enjoyed it on the Switch. I only just got it on PC. So just saying, it's been a nice experience. As for working though, I did like almost nothing last week and most of this week. So I kind of took my break early. So I don't be upset if I work a little bit next week. There's just some stuff that I fell behind on that I need to get caught up. Mostly, I need to keep decorating the map because there's still some stuff that I want to do. And I want you guys to experience it.
I am going to adjust your audio quickly, so 1 sec.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Yep.
Hey, what else are we talking about? Rainy is talking at the speed of light.
Hey, look, I'm excited. Okay, leave me alone. I'll slow down. Okay. I put
what
some
I
background
will
music
say,
on. Let us know if it's too loud over the audio of everybody else.
I'm gonna do a thing that is unexpected of me. So I'm gonna tell you guys that there was something that we wanted to share with you guys for this live stream. But we determined that it needs a much bigger stage than a live stream. Yep. So we have other things that are still awesome, but the big awesome thing, we ended up moving it to next year. So I'm sorry.
And I'll add one more thing to the big awesome thing. The big awesome thing has been ready for well over a year now.
A while, yeah.
Year and a half now. So it'll come. But, that's why we got busy start of this week actually. Trying to see what we can put together to replace it. So we got the treats coming up, so let's move through it so we can get to it.
I'm also glad to hear that we look okay blurry. That makes me happy.
That's I don't know why. I can see it on the iPad because it's like playing live YouTube, and I think it might be my upload speed for some reason. It's not doing.
I think it's your upload speed. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because it's usually pretty good. We got gigabit.
It's whatever.
Anyway, so RainyGames stuff first. What do we have on RainyGames?
Mostly, I mean, you guys kind of know this, but the big plan for this year was Patreon and the podcast, and we wanted to really focus on like RainyGames as a studio separate from SunnySide. And then I'm gonna blame you, Rainy. Rainy got sick, and it kind of threw everything out the window. So, knock on wood, he stays healthy next year. But the plan is basically to do next year what we plan to do this year. So, we want to pick up with the podcast again. We want to actually start rewarding our Patreon backers. You guys have been a little bit ignored the last 4 or 5 months. Sorry. But what I can say is all the money from Patreon has gone towards supporting. So we're in the downswing of SunnySide, as you guys know. We're playtesting, we're moving towards other stuff. And so the actual core development, the people who were doing that, we couldn't pay them because they weren't developing. So the money from Patreon went towards supporting the people who were done with their work so that we could keep them in the studio and keep them working on other projects. So we couldn't have done that without you guys. Thank you for that. It means that, we're keeping people around who we want to continue on to the next projects, and it helped us with that gap period, which is what we wanted Patreon for. So thank you to everybody who backed it, even if we didn't do the greatest job on getting you the rewards. But we'll do better next year, I swear. Yeah. But other than that, the plans for next year are to kind of, start looking at what's next. A lot of the between now and release for SunnySide is mostly going to be Rainy, and then myself doing more of the marketing stuff, which means all the other people are free to do other things. So we're gonna start looking at what the next things are gonna be. Trying really hard not to say anything, but if you are a Patreon supporter, you will be seeing that stuff, because we want to say thank you for sticking around. So you'll see a lot more of what we're doing, what we're looking at, what we're planning. We also want to ramp up the YouTube stuff. Rainy's really great at making informative videos. I know you've been dying to do that. So
yeah, so I did one YouTube Shorts which I think Benny, our marketing person, posted it to TikTok as well. But I literally didn't have time to make more. I even had scripts written for like 3 more, and I never got to them. So I'm excited to make them. Funny enough, I'll give you guys a bit of an insider scoop. So we get to it in a minute. We've been running some playtest sessions to gauge how good the game is general. But what's funny is that there's so many systems, and this isn't something that me trying to sell the game to you, but there are so many systems in the game that are really unique to a point where some people really hated the change. Even something simple as like how we do the tool wheel versus having your tools in your inventory. It's nothing groundbreaking. I mean, Animal Crossing did it in the same genre, more or less. But the fact that our game prominently uses it is a bit of a new thing. So our production manager at Merge was today telling us that we need to market the game in a way that explains to people why we made certain decisions to design certain things in a certain way. So we essentially ended up at making more of these YouTube shorts, just kind of developer style.
I was wondering where you were going with this.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I first suggested that we would, right back. I first suggested, doing those kind of episodic videos that we did before with the voiceover. But Sydney suggested it's much better if I just do them and kind of developer style, explain why we made the decision, why we designed the system in a certain way, kind of add a bit of jokes and comedy in there too. It just makes it.
But even beyond that, like I said, moving away from SunnySide, doing like the how to like Unreal developer videos, like the tree that we have. I miss doing those. Yeah, that's what I was more talking about, was like getting you back into teaching, which is one of the things you do best.
I miss making. There's so many things that I've learned through SunnySide.
Oh my god!
Mostly like experiences to share with other devs.
So many
that I'm just like, don't do that. That's a waste of 3 months. That I want to just teach people. But
so we'll get there.
Yeah. So now,
wait. One last thing before you move on. T-shirts are still on sale.
Buy them.
If anybody wants a t-shirt.
You know what? It's the holiday season. It might be a little bit too late at this point to order them for Christmas, so to speak.
Yeah, it's too late.
But there's still time for New Year's, Boxing Day and all that. Wait. Is that
Boxing Day is the day after Christmas.
It is the day after Christmas. What do you call the day after New Year? Does that even have a name? I don't think that even has a name.
It's New Year's Day.
Okay.
Dork.
Well, you might be able to. Yes, you can get that shirt for your loved ones for late Christmas present.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you, Rex. I really appreciate that.
But yeah, they're still on sale. You can definitely go buy them. I was going through and looking at like some of our older, live streams from the year. And people, I kept like seeing people asking like, where can we get the shirt? Where can we get the shirt before we put them on sale?
Oh, that's
so those of you who were bugging us, go buy the shirt.
It directly supports RainyGames.
It does. Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to get to the first treat of the day. And this treat is from everybody's favorite composer, musician, talented individual, Matt, aka Jelly Fox. So he decided to record a little video for us, performing our winter theme. So, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and welcome Matt to. It's pre-recorded. It's not live.
Get them all excited.
And so we'll be back right after this. Always a treat. Always a treat. I was telling Sydney, oh, he's so good, and
Oh, he's so good.
it's just saying like it's not even a surprise. Is it a surprise? I mean, he performs live for a living. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. For those of you who don't know, we've talked about it before, but Matt is in a Beach Boys tribute band. They tour the country, playing Beach Boys music. So, dude performs for a living, and he does it very well. So, but Merry Christmas to Matt, his family, and shout out for doing that for us. He did it very last minute, so multiple Matts is always cool. So, hope you guys like that.
Yeah, when you know it's getting real, when you see multiple clips of Matt on a screen.
Yeah.
All right. So, we were talking about it as well. We probably are going to upload that to YouTube as its own video. Yeah. But we'll let you guys know when that happens. Yeah. So that was the first kind of little treat of the day. But we have much more to talk about. So, as I said earlier, we have been conducting what we call playtest sessions. So, Sydney, what are playtest sessions?
You're like keep putting me on the spot today with all these random questions.
I mean, I can explain it. I'm trying to give you.
What are playtest sessions? I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. So why do we do honestly for every game, playtests are always different. So a lot of games will go into early access on Steam. We did not do that. There's also, there's like internal alphas and internal betas and all kinds of testing. And there's like QA where you like send it to a professional QA house and they do testing and stuff. So for us, because we're a Kickstarter game, I don't know. We, have like 2,000 of you in the wings ready to test for us. So a lot of people who either backed us on Kickstarter or who pre-ordered through BackerKit had the option to purchase pre-alpha, or not pre-alpha, pre-testing, alpha testing, beta testing, early access, whatever you want to call it. So we called it early access, which was very confusing, which I blame Rainy for.
We did call it early access, yeah.
It was a little confusing. But anyways, any of those people who purchased that, anytime we've done any kind of, okay, we're ready to test on large scale, we have been able to send out keys and get people playing. So the first time we did it, way back in 2021, I think, the first thing we ever did was the influencer alpha and let influencers have it. And then our backers got it. And then the BackerKit pre-orders got it. And that ended April of 2021. So that was alpha. And then the same group of people who had access to the alpha minus the influencers got access to a beta, basically. So we started that, in October? And I think we're on our third round of playtests right now. So the people who backed the game have access right now. They've been playing it. And it's going so well. I mean, you never feel like your game is finished. You never feel like it's ready for people to touch it. And granted, there's always, there's bugs and things aren't working because we're still fixing things and, testing things, seeing what people want. But the thing that we wanted really from people was not so much the bugs. We have a QA house. They're a whole professional QA team who breaks games for a living. They're breaking the game for us. They're doing a great job. But what we wanted from the playtesters was just, how does the game feel? QA is a very different process than playtesting. Yeah. For QA, you're trying to break it. So they're not just going and playing the game and seeing what happens. They're running around and hitting menus and buttons and trying to freak the game out as much as they can. And it's very different. And you don't get a feel for how the game actually plays. So that's what we wanted from you guys was, how are the controls? How intuitive does it feel? How fun is it? Do you like the story? Do you like the interfaces? Are you happy? That's what we wanted to know. And I feel like everybody's been pretty happy. I mean, again, minus the bugs, but with the actual game, people have suggested some really great quality of life upgrades. There were things that we had already had planned. We just hadn't gotten to them yet. And enough people were like, hey, we need these things, that we just like, okay, we'll just do them now to make people happy. So there were some things that people did find in the playtest that weren't found by QA. There was a really bad memory leak in a very particular part of the farm. And there was a lot of like triangulating and everybody trying to work together to figure out what was going on. So it's been cool, especially there's, a special area of the Discord for playtesters to chat and seeing them help each other and walk each other through things and explain stuff. And
you're looking at the one of the footages of one of the playtesters playing the game. We asked our community of playtesters to please share videos with us if you have been recording the game while you've been playing. And this is one of the footages. I thought we would play it in the background while we talk about the playtests. But yeah, as Sydney said, it's essentially just to gauge how good the game is, where especially from our player base, people who had enough of an incentive to want to spend money and back the game. So we had that kind of what's the word? It was very valuable to get that kind of feedback. And then kind of in parallel, we also have another team of playtesters, which is kind of separated from us. It is managed by our publisher, but those are people who didn't really have any exposure to SunnySide. So we can get kind of both sides of the coin, of people who knew about SunnySide, people who've been familiar with it, and surprisingly,
they're like the control group, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't know about the game. They haven't been supporting us for 2 years like you guys. So being able to see, okay, what do people who have no idea what's going on? What do they think? So that's a small group that's been testing with us too.
Yeah. And so what's funny though is that at first we were worried that the our playtesters are going to be a bit biased. They're gonna either want the game to succeed or they like the game too much, and the scores are going to be a bit kind of adjusted for that.
Were we wrong?
We were very wrong, because you guys were passionate, that's for sure. So you guys gave us a lot of feedback and some very well criticism for stuff in the game.
I gotta mention, so I was going through all of the feedback today. Just so you guys know, we had over 200 people give us feedback from our first round of playtests, and I was going through all of that today, looking for stuff that you'll see later. And I don't know if you saw this, Rainy. Shout out to whoever this was, wrote, I'm not kidding. I pulled it was on one question, and I pulled the whole thing out and put it into a Word doc because I couldn't read it in the Excel sheet that I had it in.
Yeah.
It was a page and a half of feedback on one question. And I was like, well, okay, let's dive into this.
Yeah.
So the passion really has come through from you guys, but that swings both ways. So the things that people liked, they loved, and the things that people didn't like, they hated. And so it was really interesting to see kind of where that we were really so worried that it was just going to be like a corner of yes men. It's like, oh, everything's great, we love this, and we wouldn't get good feedback.
Yeah.
But no, we got it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And as Cindy said, we had we've been running the third one. The third one is the active one right now. Yep. But the first one and the second one, essentially every time we run it, obviously after that, there's a survey that gets sent out to everybody, which is where we get these scores and the feedback actually written down.
Yep.
And from the first one to the second one, we saw a nice increase in scores, in both groups. So yeah, it's going really well. The game still has areas that we need to polish, the areas that are bugs that we need to fix, and certain areas that are adjustments. And what's the biggest word that has come across in these playtest sessions has been quality of life improvements. So there's been a lot of quality of life improvements. Something as small as being able to open the map quickly with a hotkey versus having to open your phone first. You'd be surprised how many people asked for that. And it's trivial enough that it's quick for us to add, but we don't want to release the game on Steam and then somebody gives us a negative review because they were annoyed by the fact that they couldn't open the map via the M. So we are running these sessions to make sure that we can get as much of it kind of cleared up and the game is kind of filtered nicely, and it's an enjoyable experience all across. So we have some...
Are you just going to show the one, or are you going to show... What footage are you going to show?
So currently I'm running one of them. I have a few more to show, but we also have those photos of some of the feedback. Well, I have Hidden's videos.
I just want everybody to see my farm, okay? That's all I want.
I don't even have that here. Because you had...
Ignored.
You had something. I don't remember what it was. So we have these photos.
My farm looked awesome.
Of the actual feedback.
Yeah.
So
actually, also, I just want to open this up real quick. If you guys have any questions, please ask. We're doing a little bit more laid back for this stream, so chat has been like unusually quiet, and it's feeling weird. So ask all the questions. We will answer the things as much of them as we can, obviously.
Right. So we have these nice kind of snippets of some of the feedback that we got in different areas of the game. So first one is about combat. So combat was an area of the game that the scores for it was really interesting. So it wasn't anything surprising. I was expecting it to be one of the kind of weaker areas of the game. But surprisingly, there were a few people who found it really fun. There was this one guy that just kind of stuck out like immediately because they loved the combat system and they hated the farming. Yeah. And that was the opposite of like every other
like everybody else
feedback that we got. But here's another example. So we got, obviously combat was the weaker point across all of the kind of playtests that we have, and that doesn't necessarily means that the game's failed. It's crap and we gotta kind of go back to the drawing board. No. We kind of sat down, we compiled it all, and we decided that the combat is kind of overstaying its welcome. So if it's a weaker area of the game, if people aren't enjoying it as much, if it's feeling more tedious, we can just kind of decrease its frequency. So they don't have to, it doesn't become a tedious thing that you have to deal with. It actually still keeps that excitement. But yes, this is some of the feedback that we had from combat. Yeah, I'm glad that some people found the whole of Fuda thing, the magic thing, the whole of Fuda thing and the element system pretty fun. Making a turn-based kind of card-based game is a little bit oversaturated these days, so I'm glad that some people enjoyed it.
I think we did it different enough, and the thing that made me happy is that one person, actually the number of people who said that it felt like a Persona style combat, which is exactly what we were going for.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Oh.
This is making my face really bright. I'm gonna have to make that.
Oh, what, the feedback thing?
Yeah, it's like very white. Yeah. I looked up, my face was like white. I was like, oh god.
This is the farming feedback on the farming aspect of the game. So the farming was one of the higher rated areas of the game. I think it was, after music, it was the highest rated one, probably. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a farming sim, right?
My favorite is when I was going through earlier today and grabbing all of these, anything that I saw that was all capitals, I just stopped and grabbed. I was like, passion. So
the hose,
people really liked a lot. Yeah, the hose was the big one.
Yeah, it's always been getting a lot of love. We really appreciate that a lot of people acknowledge the fact that there's seeding in our farming game without having to, use anything, any extra machine or anything kind of extra for it, because it's something that a lot of plants do, and a lot of people were appreciative that that's actually something that happens in the game.
Which made me happy. Yeah, because it was something that, like, we redesigned, I think, the entire farming system to make that work.
Yeah.
And I was nervous at first that it wasn't going to be worth it and worth all that time, and it was totally worth it. So I'm really glad people.
Somebody literally said, knowing that garlic scapes are a thing. I didn't know they were a thing, so shout out to you.
You know what? I didn't either. Shout out to some other people who informed me.
Shout out to research.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after this, we have feedback on... Okay, you know what? You guys guess what this is about. I mean, it's
Oh, that's
mentioned
fun. I like
literally in the
that.
text, but this area of the game was the highest rated across every
Well, you
playtest
already told
session
them
that
what
we
that
had.
was.
Yeah, I just want to see if they were listening. Um, but
This
what's
is a
funny,
test.
this is the only area that also didn't see an increase in school because it
Yeah,
was already as high
it's
as it would
already
get.
maxed.
But
Gee, I
yeah.
wonder what part of the game this is.
But I mean, you guys, there was not a single comment that didn't like the music.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that you guys also found the audio interesting. I did a lot of the kind of ambient sounds in the game. It's nothing crazy. It's very, very simple volumes, but um, you'd be surprised at how many games decide to not do spatial sounds. You know, a sound coming
Wait,
from somewhere specific.
I just remembered something. I'm gonna tell them because it's Christmas.
Yeah, go for it.
So, so you guys all know that Matt did the music, right?
Oh God. Okay.
Um, and
I know what
Rainy
you're gonna
did
say.
all the like VFX. Not like he scoured the internet and we found good sources for. There are, however, two areas of the game in the effects, sound effects realm that were actually done by Matt, and so I'm going to shout him out. He will be officially credited for these.
Voice
Matt is
acted.
the Matt is the voice of Sparky. He did all the wows and woos that you guys are going to hear Sparky doing. And he also did for us yesterday. Little backstory on this: with all the animals in the game, when you pet them, they'll moo or whatever, and we were able to find really good free resources or resources that allowed commercial use for all the animal sound effects. Except we couldn't find anything for alpacas. Anywhere. We found reference, but we couldn't find any that we could actually use in the game. So we tapped Matt's voice acting talents, and Matt will officially be credited as the voice actor for alpacas in SunnySide. He sent us the audio the other day, and I have not laughed that hard in a very long time. So
The
I'm
alpacas in the
excited for
game
you guys
are
to
Matt.
experience that. And they're amazing.
We this is the feedbacks on the social system. Social system one was an interesting one. So the first playtest session that we ran, we had a lot of problems with the social system, a lot of bugs
Yeah.
and issues that we didn't even know. And that's kind of the
Yeah.
issue with social system or like any story related kind of issues. You need to go through the story to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
So shout out to Hidden in the Leaves. She's in the
Yeah.
chat. She's been kind of scouring every single, as we call, story events, which are just like cutscenes in the game, which we have tons of,
Yeah.
and kind of flagging all those issues. So from playtest session 1 to playtest session 2, we fixed over 100 problems that were
Yeah.
being caused in the social system. So it's an area of the game that didn't work the first time. Second time worked much better, and the third time, which is running right now, is running the best. So I'm really
Still not
excited.
quite there.
Yeah,
We still have work to do,
We
but
still
it
have
is
work
the
to do.
best it's ever been.
I'm really looking forward to the feedback that we're going to get at the end of this session regarding
Yeah,
the
same.
social system specifically, because there's so much content there. It's the heaviest area of the
Yeah.
game in terms of content. I mean, we have hundreds and thousands of words that have gone through that. Yeah.
200,000 plus.
200,000 plus, yeah, words, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was the playtime that we had. Steam is interesting. That shows us kind of how long you guys have been playing the game. And the graph that you look is really kind of uneven. So you guys either played the game, or people who played the playtest game, they either played like 2 to 8 hours, or they just straight went down the deep end and that did like 30, 40 hours. And it's there's an alarming number of people who played more than 100 hours.
Yeah, there are.
And shout out to Dorchan.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah, we see you, bro.
But it's
We
been
had
great.
to stop. So at the end of every playtest, we send out an email to everybody like, "Hey, here's all the stats we collected from this one." We don't have the ability anymore to look at the total amount of time people played per playtest, it's all like aggregate. So it's all aggregated. So it's now just from when we started playtest to how much has been accumulated. But the numbers are getting up there already very quickly, which, considering it's a beta, is kind of remarkable, honestly. It was something that happened in the alpha. We had people with, 100 hours in an alpha game, which was amazing. So
and from the first day,
really.
From before RainyGames was really a thing, back when it was just me and Matt. When I decided to do a Kickstarter, my biggest worry was that there wouldn't be enough content in the game to warrant people playing the game for a long amount of time to warrant their money.
That bit us in the butt.
It did, because we ended up planning a bit too much. But at the same time, I mean, the playtimes are coming back, and seeing people engaging with a playtest session so much is really heartwarming, and kind of cool. Solidifies that we definitely have enough content in the game for people to enjoy. And
that we're on the right track, that we're, not wasting our time with this. So.
And this is the overall. What do you think of the game overall? Kind of feedback. This is the area where we had some of the lengthy replies. The one that Cindy was talking about wasn't the overall kind of...
Actually, no, it wasn't.
Was that not? Was it farming?
No, it was what areas of the game did you struggle with?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And they went to town.
What is our favorite festival? I can't speak.
I'm writing all the questions down. I'm writing all the questions down so we can go through them.
Right, we'll get back
because that's a good one. I want to answer it.
Okay, with time allocated. But yeah, this is the overall kind of feedback on the game. Again, to summarize, playtest sessions have been going really well. The game is finished. We are just adding to it, fixing it, polishing it, and adding a lot of quality of life improvements and adjusting things and optimizing. That's actually the biggest one, probably.
So much optimizing, but I also want to shout out to the person who in this section wrote they kind of word vomited a little bit, but it was appreciated, just about how we need to make sure we take care of ourselves. And it was this carpal tunnel's not a joke, and make sure you rest, and make sure you stretch, and make sure you take care of yourself. And it was really sweet. So thank you for that. It was really nice. Pat's in the chat. Hey, Pat.
After I had my visit to the hospital, people have been saying that a lot more. And I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I have been fine since. I caught a cold. But I've been okay. Yeah.
We also determined that Rainy's sickness was not a result of him overworking himself.
I mean, come on. That definitely worked.
No.
Don't take this away from me. Look,
it was bad decisions.
I was in the hospital for a month. Don't take this away from me. I ate some shady meat. Yes. The shady seller guy gave me some biltons. But
anyway,
that's the end of the
big thank you.
section on playtest. Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, huge thank you to all of the people who participated in the playtest stuff, and extra thank you to people who filled in the survey. That goes directly into what affects the game, both the scores that you guys give to certain areas of the game, as well as just the stuff that you guys write down or suggestions that you guys give. Incredible, and that goes directly into what ends up in SunnySide.
We read the Discord, but honestly, a lot happens. We don't always see it, and stuff gets buried very quickly. So that survey that we send out, that if it's not in there, we're probably gonna miss it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that people took the time and sat down and actually wrote a page and a half worth, that level of feedback is invaluable to us. So seriously, thank you guys for taking the time to do that, for giving us honest feedback, for not just saying everything's great, we love it, 10 out of 10. It's nice when it's true, but if it's not true, it's not helpful. And so we want that honesty. There were some areas we got a lot of ones from people who just got upset with the controls or didn't understand them because we didn't explain them well enough with tutorials and stuff, and we needed to hear that. So it's been a fun experience. I was really worried about the playtesting, but now I'm watching, getting distracted. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And then I'll leave the next one to you because it requires announcing. Is it announcement? Is it just more of?
I don't know.
I'll leave it to you.
It's a half announcement?
A half announcement, I guess. More like extra information on something that we already had announced.
I guess it's an announcement. Yeah, okay, announcement time. I forgot where we were on the thing, so I was like, what are we talking about? But let's do that, and then let's do a little bit of answering the questions, and then we'll move on to the next thing, and then the next thing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing that Rainy wants to announce, that we kind of want to announce. We kind of talked about this in the last stream-ish, but we can actually kind of talk about it now, is the fact that because we're pretty much done with development, it means that we can start looking at porting and the porting process. So we are running evaluations right now and in the beginning of the year for what consoles we can port to and how much it's going to cost and all of that stuff, which is why we haven't announced officially what consoles we'd be on. There have been I've seen some news outlets who have said what consoles we were going to be on, but we haven't officially stated it yet. So, and we won't know until we get all that evaluating done. So that's happening. And then porting is going to start next year. We're excited about it. We're excited to see what it looks like. Rainy's going to be directly involved with it. So we can make sure that it's honest to the game. We're not just sending it off and hoping for the best, which I know happens. So we're just, that's kind of it. We're good. We're starting on porting. We don't know what to, and we don't know when, and we don't have all the answers, but it's happening and we're excited, and more to come, I guess. Is that it? That's pretty much it, right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that covers most of
it. Did you want to say anything about it?
No, I'm excited. So one of the people from the porting team has actually been working with us for the past 2 months. He's been kind of leading the charge on optimizing the game. And we already seen a lot of improvements that you guys had voiced in playtest sessions as well, that yes, the game is running better. He's essentially going to move on to the porting team with the knowledge that he gathered on the game in terms of optimization. And then, as Sydney said, I'll be the one kind of overseeing the whole process and making sure that the game runs well. And I am going to continue to work on the game while the porting process is happening, fixing more bugs, polishing more stuff, and again, looking at what you guys are saying in playtest sessions, and then kind of making those changes to the game if we need to. One actually thing that we should probably mention is during the playtest sessions, the first one to the second one, we made a really large restructuring of the entirety of the quest line of the game, because we just realized that the quest line was not flowing the way we wanted it to. It was flowing really slow. A lot of complaints about getting the bicycle too late in the game. So we decided to completely restructure it. We actually combined 2 cutscenes into one. We added a bunch of new quests to the game to make sure that people actually understand how the hangout system works. So the entirety of the quest line changed from one playtest session to another. So
because of you guys, literally.
Because of you guys, and we're happy and open to these changes to make sure that the game is as fun as it can be at the end of the day.
I'm so distracted watching the
watching what
I'm watching the stream.
Decided to wear, This is
I'm
Hidden's
so distracted. Oh, that's so funny.
But we can answer some questions before the next little treat that we have.
Sorry, I got distracted.
So let's do that.
So Pixio asked about accessibility options. If we have color blindness settings, UI scaling, VFX toggles, etc. And I'll let you talk about that because that's your thing.
We do have colorblind settings. That was actually one of the very first accessibility options we added to the game. Granted, I'll admit it's very easy to add because Unreal Engine kind of comes with those settings out of the box, so we decided to just add those right away. As for more options, there are a few that we have thought of. They are not in the playtest sessions yet, but there's one that disables stereo audio, so it just makes it so that all of the audio is mono, so you don't get the directional sounds. It'll just be coming from one source. We don't have VFX disabling yet, but it is on the list of things that we want to add to the game. And adjusting the text size, that is, again, something that we had planned. Unfortunately, we can only allow that to happen in dialogue boxes, so your text messages that you get as well as dialogue boxes that you get when you are where was I going with that, when you just talk to an NPC, because the UIs that we design are not really unified. Most of the UIs, especially shops and stuff, they look super unique, so adjusting the size of things will break things. But we did get feedback from that. A lot of people really hated how small some of the text was in the game, and we are actively working on that. But if you want to suggest more certain accessibility options to us, please do. We are more than happy to take your guys' input. So yeah, please join the Discord. If you are in the playtest channels, you can put in the suggestions one. If you aren't, that's fine. You can just put it in the general chat, or the questions bit is another good place that you can put your...
And anything that we have the ability to do and we have the time to do, we will do. If we end up not doing something, it's for one of those two reasons. Either we're limited by the way that the game is programmed, or we're limited by, frankly, Rainy's programming abilities. He's one guy. Or we're limited by time. Sometimes it's just something that, okay, maybe we could do that if we had like 6 months, but it's just not feasible. So just so you guys know, if there are any issues, those are pretty much it.
Rerex, you cannot use vehicles in Higashi, no. That was just way too much of a headache to make sure that the collisions won't mess things up. And there are already cars moving around in vehicles.
Yeah. Okay, Apollo asked, what is something you guys think needs the most work in polishing in the game? Oof, that's a question.
Most work in polishing in the game?
Yeah, what needs the most work in polishing?
It's gonna sound really boring, though.
Well, somebody asked.
It's the saving and loading. It's kind of technical, but I mean, it isn't at the same time. For instance, think of this situation. You were in the middle of a text message. An NPC... Oh god. Hidden. Okay. Why are you in the middle of a road? Anyway, you get a text message that is a quest text message from an NPC, so it's super important. The game can literally break if you don't continue that text message. And you decide to sleep, save your day, and then close the game. Next time when you come back, the game needs to remember exactly where the text message was in the chain of the messages to then continue it, and then for all the events that were also put onto the text to actually happen as well. For instance, if you were supposed to have an app installed on your phone as a result of a text message, that still needs to happen when you load the game from a save. So saving and loading, headache, hate it, but it literally is the game. So yeah, that's the area. But then another one that is kind of also a bit of a headache, but it's simple. It's not complicated, but it's tedious. It's not easy. And I always like to make the distinction between, easy, hard, and simple, complex. It's simple, but it's hard. And it's GPU optimization, which is literally where the game is kind of struggling the most. Thankfully, the game is programmed well enough, as it would be, that we don't have much of a holding back on the programming side when it comes to the game actually running. It's just GPU. So, we need to optimize. Why Hidden? Why are you like this? So we needed to optimize the GPU, which means going through textures, making sure the right size, making sure LODs are set right. You optimize something, and then somebody complains to you that, I can see that tree popping, and I'm like, well, what do you want from me? So
and it's because
it's a bit of a balance.
I was literally just gonna say it's been a really weird balancing act.
Delicate.
I just saw Hidden crash into the tree.
That's what I was saying. What's wrong with you?
Um, I guess it's the fastest way to get off the bike.
It is. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Not anymore. But it's a balancing act because our game is so gorgeous. Honestly, there's so much foliage and trees, and in order to get that look, we have to make sacrifices in some other areas, which means buildings popping in sometimes, and you might be able to see that. So there's going to be really, no matter what we do, there's going to be some kind of immersion breaking something that happens. We're going to do our best, but it is what it is. It's always like we got to choose what we're going to have, and there's going to be some things that we want that we can't have because we want other things more. And we've kind of made an agreement, I think, as a team that the trees and the foliage and everything is like high priority to make it feel the way that we want it to feel.
Dorchan, it's not the fastest way anymore. I have news for you.
It's not.
We completely changed the vehicle getting in and out. Yep. You can actually get out of vehicles on a high speed. It's just kind of crashes you if you do. But you can kind of bail out of a vehicle now. Anyway.
Yeah, that's the vehicles have been the biggest.
But what's funny actually? Let's kind of talk about one bug, or if you remember any other funny ones, do bring them up. But just to kind of give you guys an idea of like what we fixed from playtest to playtest session, the whole romance system was broken in the first playtest session. The entirety
completely broken.
Specifically Hero, which was very sad for Dorchan. And so it was a funny bug. So our romance system works this way. You hit a certain friendship point and other requirements. It's very specific to the NPC. Once you hit that requirement, at the end of a hangout, you can confess to them. Once those requirements are hit, and if you are compatible with them, then they will say yes. And then once they say yes, you can invite them to a date. Dates, again, have cutscenes, have story events that happen, just like hangouts do. They're obviously more romantic. But there is a point for everybody that you hit, which we call the lock-in point, which is essentially you taking your... what's the word? Taking your... Relationship, thank you. Taking your relationship to the next level. The game will lock you out from dating anybody else. So you can't really date anybody else at that point. But there we go. But you essentially lock it with that one person, and things get a lot more serious. We had this bug that anytime...
Well, hold on. To be clear, it didn't just prevent you from romancing anybody else. The way it worked in the system is when you lock it in, it resets your romance points with everybody down to 0. So that you wouldn't be able to romance. So it like literally locks in the character that you're on, so that's the only one that you can romance.
But what's funny, and it was such a simple thing, when you locked in a romance and the game was supposed to set everybody else to 0, it also set the person that you were just letting lock in a romance in to 0 as well. So when you locked in a romance with somebody, they would immediately break up with you. So the actual changelog was really funny. What was it? NPCs no longer break up with you when you lock in your romance or when you confess to them, or something like that.
Like locking in a romance no longer breaks up with the person or something like that. It was really funny.
So we had stupid things like that happen. Yeah. But
I mean, there was a lot of chaos with the bikes. You know, people hitting things while on the bike and then flipping over, so their heads were like stuck in the map. That was always fun to watch.
Way too many times.
Honestly, the thing that I did not expect was, and this is a little bit of me making fun of all of you guys. Sorry, not sorry. You guys are so like glued to that bike. The places that I've been seeing people take the bike that we never expected the bike to go. For instance, the shrine. Everybody is insistent on trying to ride the bike around in the shrine. And I was saying in the Discord the other day, if I could make it so that you literally couldn't enter the shrine on your bike, I would. Because for me, that's an immersion breaking thing. Like, how disrespectful! Why would you do that? But it's been a thing. Everybody wants to ride the bike and in the water too. People were complaining that the stuff was breaking and you ride the bike in the water. And it's like, well, don't do that. Don't do that. You're not supposed to do that.
You can't say that. You just can never say that.
So that's the thing that's been really surprising for me is how much you guys just really like staying on the bike as much as possible. I like running everywhere. I guess I'm just weird. I find it really relaxing.
I found I found the changelog, by the way. Committing to a romantic partner no longer breaks up with them.
Yeah.
There we go.
So good.
Any more questions we want to answer, or do we want to move to
Actually, yeah, there's a couple, but I'm
Okay.
also like reading things. Yeah, riding the bike through the flowers. Stop it. Rude.
But it's so pretty.
Soto works very hard on those flowers, and you guys are destroying them. Let's see. Somebody asked if we would consider opening up the backer pages again. No. We're so far in development now that it's just not feasible. Sorry. The Ash Mullen asked what our favorite festival was and why.
Ah, yes.
So, there you go.
Oh, this is a difficult one for me.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one? Immediately?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's either the... I have to choose one, though. I would say summer, surprisingly.
Summer festival?
Just because of the fireworks. It's really nice.
The fireworks are cool.
Yeah.
Mine,
but then the autumn is kind of very close.
Mine became the autumn festival. Yeah. I did some research on autumn and harvest festivals and stuff in Japan, and their harvest festivals are really interesting and unique. And I got to put that in the game, and it was a lot of fun. They have basically a moon festival in the middle of the month, I think. That's like it's all about bunny rabbits, which I just love. Yeah. So you guys will see that. I forget which one it is. It's one of the autumn festivals. We also kind of like for a lot of the festivals did this weird amalgamation of like some Western stuff and some Japanese stuff. So, which you guys are watching right now, or a little bit, I don't know. I'm a little off with the stream, but the Christmas festival is very like American and secular. But we made it work for Japan. There's some more stuff in the Christmas festival that we still need to add. It's not in yet. But for anybody who doesn't know, Japan, the big thing is eating KFC for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to do some fried chicken stuff. So yeah, the festivals honestly were the kind of thing that I initially didn't really want to do. It's every game has it, and I don't know. It seemed like it wasn't going to be the kind of thing that we could really set ourselves apart with. And so I definitely kind of put them off and didn't really think about them. And they were kind of very last minute. And then once we actually delved into them, they took a lot longer than we thought they would.
Yeah.
But they ended up being really cool.
They end up being
so yeah, I'm kind of excited about them. I think I really like the farmers market too. That's pretty cool. Okay, also from Ash, asked, I don't know if it's possible when you have people on the team all over the world, but did you have an office Christmas party? The answer is no.
We didn't. No, not this year. No.
It's because there's really not anybody left. It's Rainy and I and Ken and Hidden. And that's it.
Lauren.
Carrie and Alan are kind of... Oh, and Lauren. Well, yeah, Lauren's part of you. I always forget. Sorry, Lauren. You're your own woman. I'm sorry. But Carrie and Alan have kind of taken a backseat a little bit. They're working on other stuff. And so, yeah, the last, like, 6 months have been kind of weird. In terms of, like, I don't know. We don't really have team meetings anymore. We're not really doing, like, our weekly stuff. And you know what, guys? I'm a terrible business owner. I didn't plan anything for my team.
That's so wrong.
It's just, thanks for calling me out. I think we all celebrate Christmas, though.
I do. Funny enough, even when I was in Iran, I would celebrate Christmas, which is not too common.
Really?
Because our New Year is a different time, right? So
yeah.
But I always bought a tree and everything. 'cause I just loved Christmas.
Interesting.
I was the one person
like,
with
did
candy
you not?
canes in my
I'm
home.
more surprised. Like, did you not get in trouble? Like,
Oh no, you don't get in trouble or anything. No, it's
oh,
fine.
okay. I would have thought you'd be like, I
Nah,
don't know.
nah, it's all fine. Obviously, I can't have.
Nobody cares.
I wouldn't be able to have like mulled wine or anything, but Christmas tree's fine.
Wait, why?
Well, alcohol. You can't alcohol in Iran.
What?
Yeah, it's prohibited. Yeah, just like most Islamic countries. Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
everybody always?
you get in trouble. Like you can go to prison for it. Yeah. Yeah. Did you not know that? Okay.
No.
Yeah. Big problem.
I am dumbfounded.
Mm.
You can celebrate Christmas, but you can't have mold. That wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Kind of funny
shocked.
if you think about it, and just quickly, just a little bit. But there's a
I'm a
wine
little
called
shocked.
Shiraz.
That's crazy.
If you didn't know, Shiraz is from Iran. It's
Yeah.
literally a city. But
Yeah.
sadly, alcohol is prohibited. Yeah.
So they can make it, but they can't drink it.
No, you can't make it either. That's also illegal.
Wait, so where does it come from?
Well, Australia. It's complicated, okay? It's just. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Quick history lesson here.
We'll have a history talk about Iran.
Yeah.
later.
I'm shocked. Wow.
Okay.
Okay, then. Let's move on.
Yeah. But yeah, I did have
Do
trees back in
you-
Iran, and I loved celebrating
That's adorable.
Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas is fun. Let's see. Greedy asks, do you have any neat little things in the back engine where y'all are really proud of what you've done?
Like back-end of the engine that like users don't
Oh,
see.
like the programming stuff. Okay. Yeah. What are you proud of, Rainy?
Kind of putting me on the spot. Yeah, I can't think of much at the moment. I guess the debug menu I'm pretty proud of. There are certain tools that I made that are pretty damn fun to use. And just make our
He's
lives
very
so much
proud of
easier.
his tools.
For instance, I mean, it's such a simple thing, but like any string lights you find in the game is actually a tool that I had to make that allows you to draw whatever shape you want, and then it just puts string lights into it. I wanted to actually extend that into build mode, but then it ended up being a lot more difficult to make it user interface for it.
Yeah.
But any string lights you see in the
Unfortunately.
game is something dynamic that you can draw whatever shape. Fences are the same. The game automatically draws fences alongside a spline, as we call it. Just like a line.
Yeah.
And
to answer the question before it happens, the reason we were able to do it with the fences and not the lights is because the fences you draw on the ground, the lights you draw like up in the air.
It's like a 3D
Which is
thing.
why we weren't. It's
2D.
completely different. Yeah. So it was too hard to implement. I know somebody's gonna ask that question, so I just wanted to get ahead of the problem.
Everyone low drop. That's so true, right, Rex? I could make. I mean, as you can expect, I'm from the country.
Yeah.
Like a whole playlist of like 30 videos going over the stupid stuff. Astrocozy asks, will there be music for each season? Sorry if it's
that was
already.
the next one I was gonna.
Oh yeah. Oh, were you? Okay. Oh yeah. We got 50 something.
So much music.
We got 50 something OST.
70.
70. Yes.
We have 70 soundtracks.
So each season has its own soundtrack plus day and night theme.
Yeah, every season has 2 soundtracks.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That would be the correct term. And you can listen to all of them on YouTube if you want to. I will send you the link myself later. And thank you for joining the stream, by the way. She's a friend.
Aww. Hi, friend. Our last question's from Pierre in the Discord. Pierre wants to know what characters you and I are dating.
Like, wait, what do you mean? Like,
like
when we play the game?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's a difficult question. Oh, God. Hold on. The bug happened, so let me move the video. You answer first while I queue up another video.
Well, here's the problem. I wrote them all. So it's less exciting for me because I already know what happens.
Yeah.
When I do play, honestly, it's the people that come at me first. I feel like are the ones I usually go with. So it's usually either Gabe or Gabe. No. I really like romancing Xander. Xander is probably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I liked writing him. I like his story. I enjoyed just You guys will see when you get to it, but the stuff that I explored in his story is something that is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked writing it. Same thing with Stephanie, actually, too. I think if I had to relate to any character's romance, and the person who I pulled the most from my own personal life is Stephanie. So anybody who romances Stephanie, you're going to get a little look into my inner psyche. I think, Xander, I think, is my favorite. But like writing them, Natalie's was fun. Kat's was a lot of fun. Blake's was a lot of fun. You guys will really like Blake's romance. They're all great. Honestly, I would encourage everybody to play the game 25 times.
Give everybody a chance.
And when the chart exists after it's put together by the fans, because I know it's going to happen, and you guys can like min-max and figure out who, is what on the chart, and dedicate play sessions to romancing certain people. I really want people to do it because it'll be rewarding, I think.
For me, I mean, Kitsune would be my answer, but with Kitsune it's not dateable. So with the people who live in the overworld, my answer would be Parser, I would say. Just because, it's... I love how goofy he is. Yeah.
Parsa?
Yeah. The goofy guy.
He's like you. Like, isn't he like your self-insert?
No, Hero was.
Well, right.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Hero and maybe a little bit of Parsa, yeah. But I just like my little Persian boy. So.
I do like Parsa. I like Parsa's romance. He was one of the ones that I got some outside help on to make sure it like worked. I like his story too, just in general. Parsa's a good one.
All right. Let's move to the little treat, the next treat, number 2, treat number 2, and let's move.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. So, last year we did a really kind of last minute montage of that year.
Don't
and pretty
tell
much
them it's
everything
last
since
minute.
Kickstarter.
They don't even know that.
It was.
You're too honest.
It's kind of impressive, to be honest, if anything. But anyway, this year we decided to do another montage, but actually give it time. I can have 3 days to edit it.
Instead of overnight.
Instead of like a few hours. So we have a 2023 montage. It's not going to include like old footage of the game versus new. It's just going to go through the stuff that we've done this year. So let's go have a look, and we'll be right back. We have changed the system, so now you can actually draw buildings if you want. You can bend them. In SunnySide, we will have multiple venues that you can go to. And yes, there is a breakup song.
Because then it's not a farm simulator, it's a capitalism simulator. I want it to be a like, what are the things that you really enjoy about gardening? And how do I pull that out of real life and put it into a game without drowning in all the stuff that people hate.
The snow is collecting outside, and actually, if you get the camera a little bit closer to the ground, you can actually see snow kind of settle on the ground. Essentially, the inside of your greenhouses are absolutely fine. Weather doesn't affect it. It stays nice and cozy and warm. Same thing applies to rain. In fact, if I make it rain right now, it is going to melt the snow.
I saw the ending, the fireworks.
Have you? We're gonna give a second to Sydney to catch up with the video.
Oh.
Have you? Have you seen the ending? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did show you, didn't I?
Yeah. And then I was like, hey, I don't like the way the text looks. Please change it.
Yeah. But yeah, 2023 has been a very, very busy year. So
yeah.
Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for supporting SunnySide. And here's to 2024, where, you know, we're going to actually release SunnySide. Sounds scary.
So excited. It does sound scary.
But at the same time, exciting to finally, you know, have the game out there, you know?
Yeah. It's funny because when I first signed on to this project with you, the plan was to release it October of that year.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
Nope.
And so it's been so crazy, just the fact that, like, we don't know because we're so new to this, and so we think we're good, we're ready, we're done, and then, like, our publisher comes back and it's like, no, you have way more work to do. And we're like, no, it's great. And then we're like, oh no, we actually have a lot more work to do.
Yeah. Shout out to Merge for being very patient with us.
Shout out to Merge, yes, for supporting us through our newbie chaos. I am going to share something that they told us recently because it was sweet and funny and it made me happy.
I know
so
what you're gonna talk
shout
about.
out to Sam. Yeah. We were talking about just kind of how much they've been able to support us and how great they've been. And there was a little bit of kind of miscommunication in the first few months in terms of, like, how much we needed from them. We didn't really communicate to them what we needed from them in terms of, like, development support and leading us through our first game. And they assumed that we really didn't need help because we communicated ourselves so confidently that they didn't quite realize we were as new as we were.
We came across as too professional.
We were very professional in just the way that, you know, we present ourselves and the way that we handle the business side and the legal side. And so to later find out, they were like, we thought you guys had it. And we were like, oh, sorry. We didn't mean to, like, fool anybody, but
have it.
yeah, we in fact did not have it. But just thank you to everybody for being patient and giving us the space to make the mistakes and learn from them and figure things out. And it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
Like, I know 3 years ago, you probably didn't think you would be here. 3 years ago, I think I was selling pet food. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so
I was struggling with paying rent. I was 5 months behind. Shout out to my landlady for not throwing me out.
Yeah. So
I
we've been really lucky.
Sent them, like, a screenshot that I'm working on it. Like, guys, please,
you're like, I'm trying, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody has just been so supportive and understanding and helpful and patient. And did I say patient? I probably said patient like 6 times. But yeah, we say it all the time. I say it in, like, every single Kickstarter update, which I don't put out nearly often enough. I'm sorry, guys. But I always, at the end of it, I always say thank you, thank you, thank you. And it feels like a mindless boilerplate at the bottom, but we genuinely mean it. There's just no way we could have done this without everybody's support. So, really looking forward to next year. Really looking forward to getting this game in everybody's hands. There's been some playtest feedback from people saying that they think this game is going to be a literal game changer for the genre, and it's what I'm hoping for. And I'm excited to see what happens. And I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm more hopeful this time of year this year than I think I was this time of year last year.
Yeah. And for me, it's really the feedback.
Yeah, the feedback helps.
Seeing people mention that the passion is clear in the game is a huge vote of confidence. And it also kind of goes through if there are bugs that get in the way of people, if there are performance issues, it still comes through that there was passion and love behind this project. It wasn't just something to, I don't know, a cash grab or something like that. With how much of that has been happening in the games in the gaming industry, it is a scary thing, but makes me so happy to see that it's clear that the passion is coming through. Especially, I mean, this year in the industry, we had some incredible games, some games that really showed love for this art and craft, and actually made us so happy. I mean, games like Baldur's Gate, really and Alan Wake really showed just that there's still so much love for this craft, and there's still so much to explore. So I would say 2022 was pretty bleak, but 2023 was kind of like a spark. And it kind of goes back to gamers as well. I feel like these days, the people who actually play the games are a lot more aware of what goes into the process of making a game. They're a lot more curious as to what that process is. So it's been great to be able to share this journey with you all. And I wouldn't expect to be here. It's incredible, and I'm excited.
I think
for what
too,
the future holds.
The thing that I really want to say, I'm really tempted to be very cheeky right now, but I'm gonna not do it.
Okay.
Is that this past year has been great for video games. Some amazing games have come out. But it's been terrible for video game developers. You guys, if you guys, I don't know how many people actually follow game developer news as like steadfastly as Rainy and I do, but it's been bad. A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people who make decisions make really bad decisions. Taking money from the people who are earning it and giving it to the people at the top. And it's a big conversation. There's a lot of discussion happening among the industry about just kind of what this year looked like. And I think the game devs have had it rough. I think too, like Rainy was saying, the players have had it rough too. You guys have gotten some great games, but there have also been a lot of scams, especially in 2022. 2023, it hasn't been as bad, but what I'm trying to say is I've made a commitment with RainyGames to never put myself or the owners of the company first. It's got to be the people making the game. So I'm just going to kind of say that here and now. Like, this is my promise. You guys can guarantee with RainyGames that money is going to go to the people who deserve it. And the focus is always going to be on taking care of our team and making sure that they're taken care of before I'm taken care of as the owner or whatever, or the C-suite whenever we start kind of expanding that group. It's something that is really important to me. Really, really important to me. On top of that too, it's really important to me to make sure that we are as transparent as we can be. We do have limitations because of marketing and because of all that stuff. So, we can't show you guys everything, but everything that we can, we will. And the commitment from me, and I think from Rainy too, is moving forward to be more transparent with you guys. We want you to see how games are made. We want you to understand why we make the decisions that we do, so that you can take those lessons and apply them to how you buy other games. It's so easy for a game to have really, really good marketing and it looks awesome, and then you buy it and it's garbage and you just lost out on $15. But for the developer, they just made a few $1,000s, you know, and it's not fair. So we're going to try really hard to be honest, give money to the people who deserve it, and showcase the people who deserve it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my commitment for next year and moving forward. So if you want to, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but I kind of want to.
Same goes for me as well. You pretty much encompass the whole thing. Yeah.
So that's my little thing. Let's do. We've got a little bit of more time for some Q&A. If you guys have any more questions you want to ask, and then we got one more thing to show, and then we're gonna call it a day.
I was gonna say, should we do this third video and then give some time for QA, and then kind of wrap it up with QA? No. Okay.
No, I want to wrap up with the video.
Okay.
Because it's cool.
It is cool.
So yeah, if it's cool. If there's so we've got one more thing to show you guys, but before we do that, if there's any other questions, if you guys, I mean, it doesn't have to be about SunnySide. It can be about video games. It can be about RainyGames. It can be about the Game Awards. It could be about, I don't know if there's anything you guys want to talk to us about, or it's Christmas. My gift to you all this year is my time. That was lame. That was a really lame joke. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. It was terrible. Is there anything you want to talk about, Rainy? What games did you play this year that you enjoyed that made, other than Baldur's Gate? We all know you love Baldur's Gate.
Kind of took it. Just what else? No. Tears of the Kingdom was my second.
That's right.
Incredible game. Like I think, Baldur's Gate is a absolute crazy achievement in storytelling, in narrative.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to a game, Tears of the Kingdom is much more of a game. No. It's a lot more of a just
not to mention
kind of simple game
on Switch. Like to me, that's the biggest thing. Is not only was it an incredible game, but it was on Switch. Like,
and you know,
so
after Baldur's Gate is really Alan Wake when they did an incredible narrative. If you haven't tried that, it's a horror game. I don't know if you would be up your alley.
Nope.
But it's fantastic. It's so well done.
Is it a horror game or a thriller game? There's a difference.
Look, I'm gonna say thriller. So
okay,
if you can give it a go. And it uses Unreal 5. He uses some very specific technology advancements that are in Unreal 5 to just load levels, and it's incredible. You will love it technically, like in the technical sense, especially.
I think it's the kind of game that I would go watch other people play.
Yeah, do that.
I can't handle the stress.
And I was gonna say, Jackpot's asking, are you excited for the new Yakuza games with Ichiban?
We know Lauren is.
Lauren, feel free to answer that one. But yeah, Yakuza 8. I think we already pre-ordered it. Did we pre-order that? No? I think we already pre-ordered it. If we haven't, then I feel bad. But yes, been playing The Man Who Erased His Name. Love it. I haven't played it, but I've been watching Lauren play it. And I am yet to watch the last mission. Apparently it's the tearjerker, as it would be. I'm excited for Yakuza fan. Just to quickly wrap it up, I don't want to just talk about Yakuza for like 10 minutes. But the new Yakuza games that's coming out, it's in scope and scale, it's crazy. The amount of stuff that you can do in that game
games
is
are
mental.
already crazy.
Did you know?
Are you saying
they have
expanded
teams?
that?
They expanded that. They added a whole new island that allows you to build in it and farm and stuff in it. Like, they literally build a farming game inside of it.
Why do they have so much time? I don't...
So Ryuga Gotoku, which is the name of the studio who makes Yakuza games, they literally have teams for their mini games. So it's like, essentially, if you had feature creep, for feature creep, they make teams that do feature creep specifically. That's their shtick. But they do it great. And somehow, there is a coherent story in there, and it doesn't feel overstaying its welcome. It doesn't feel lengthy. It feels just right. Somehow. I don't know how they do it. They've been doing it for like 10 games now.
Yeah.
Just please let Kiryu have a good ending. Please stop beating him, man. He didn't need to
Ash
get
is asking again who our favorite characters are. Favorite and least favorite.
I am going to actually refuse to answer this question.
Why?
Because I don't want to take favorites. I don't have a favorite character. They all my favorites.
You gotta pick your favorite child, Rainy.
No.
You gotta pick your favorite child.
No.
I mean, I've already said Xander's my favorite. Least favorite? I'll tell you who was my least favorite. My least favorite in the original was Sebastian. Because Rainy had given me the, like, here's what I want this character to be like. And the example that he gave me was Yusuke from Persona 5, which I had never played. So he just sent me a bunch of videos of this character, and I just remember watching those videos going, oh god, I hate this guy. You want me to write a character like this? And I was so against it. And then before I finished writing Sebastian, I went and played Persona, and Yusuke ended up being like one of my favorite characters. So I pulled all of that like new love I had for him and poured it into Sebastian. So Sebastian went from being my least favorite to like I love him. I want to protect him.
I have two favorites. And, you know, I'm gonna kind of imagine them as a couple, really. And it's Hero and Parser. Again, kind of, you know, boring at this point how many times I mentioned Parser. But, least favorite? Oh, God.
Hanako.
Etsu? Not because I hate her or anything, but I mean, she's
How
there.
dare you?
She doesn't do much.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's like 5 characters who don't have story, so...
Yeah, she's
one of them.
It would be one of them that, yeah. She's alright, I like her.
He picked one of the, like, non-friendship characters.
What, do I have to pick a romanceable?
I mean, you know...
No. No.
Just no.
No, I like her as well. I
you
literally can't think.
You know who my favorite like non-friend? We have 3 levels of characters, right? So we have what I call story characters. Well, we have romance characters, we have story characters, and then we have like non-story characters. So the romance characters are anybody you can romance. The story characters are characters who have story in their friendship line, but you can't romance them. And then there are non-story characters who have no story at all. There's 5 of those. It's like the old people in town, the parents and stuff, because we ran out of word count. But so for those like 5 like I don't know, whatever, Philip is my favorite. I love him. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, Philip is great.
He ended up with so much fun personality. He was fun to write. I really like him.
Super Mish is asking about release date for Switch specifically. We don't have one, sadly.
We not only do we not have release dates for anything, we can't even talk about it.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's like a
big
thing.
Big circle with a line through it, red.
You have
no
idea how annoying that is. Understandably, like I'm not annoyed at the situation or our publisher or anything. It's just how it is.
Business.
But I would have loved to be able to just openly
business.
talk about it. And Becky asks about physical copies of OST. We are going to have CDs, but we are only going to do that as part of fulfillment.
Wait, why are you saying that?
Well, we're only going to do that as a part of fulfillment to our Kickstarter backers that did order that.
Yeah, so there was a Kickstarter backer thing about CDs.
But like a physical thing that you're gonna like go and buy. Currently, nothing is confirmed. We don't know.
Yeah, nothing's. Yeah,
we love to. Really I personally would love to get a vinyl, but we don't have anything yet.
Well, here's the thing with physical stuff, with all physical stuff, with merchandise, with plushies. People were asking about not even logistics; it's money.
Yeah.
You have to have the money to make the thing first, and without the money to actually manufacture it, we can't. So we literally can't do any of that stuff until we start selling copies of the game because we need that income.
Here's what I can tell you merchandise. We're definitely gonna put SunnySide soundtrack, entirety of the soundtrack, on streaming platforms. That one I can tell you.
That one, yeah,
for sure, confirmed. Yeah.
We're still kind of deciding when we want to do it. We kind of want to do it before the game releases, but we haven't made up our minds yet. Yeah. So,
like Spotify,
but keep an eye.
YouTube, music, all that.
That's definitely on the list. Physical stuff. I would love to, but
Becky,
especially
both.
vinyls are so expensive. But it is something I am actively chasing down and looking into and talking to people and researching and figuring out how we can do it and what it's going to cost and all that. But until we release the game, until you guys buy the game, we don't have the money to do that.
Again,
kind of stuff.
here's another thing.
If you guys want it, buy multiple copies of SunnySide.
Here's another kind of snippet of transparency with you all about how SunnySide's development gone. But for the last year, for the entirety of 2023, we halted operation on most of our marketing plans, on any, like, chasing up any vinyls, chasing up anything physical, chasing up like big surprises, just to finish the game. So now we're there. Now we're at the point that the game's finished. So marketing is ramping up again. We're starting to work on new exciting things, which is why the thing we had planned for this stream actually got postponed too. Yeah. Because we actually sat down and had a proper discussion about how we want to do things. So
I'm going to pause you.
Hopefully good news will come up.
Rin, you're not allowed to buy any more copies of SunnySide. You're the only person I'm
Rin,
saying no to.
Stop buying SunnySide, please. I refuse to send you more codes. Just gonna like go buy it physically at some point and just like send a screenshot.
Or we can't. We can't control it. Somebody asked in the Discord, can you put up curtains or blinds and can you move the windows? You can't move the windows, unfortunately. It's not Sims. That's something I would have liked, but hard. But we do have some curtains and blinds that you can put up. Yeah.
There are items you can put on walls, and one of those items include curtains and blinds.
Curtains, yep. The windows are technically counted as part of the walls.
If you want, you can put stands on your windows and put plushes on them. I've seen people do it. Pretty funny. And you know what's even funnier? People put those stands up. They don't even put plushes on them. They go and put gnomes on it for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that. People really got into the gnomes.
Yeah. We do have gnomes, and I'm not gonna say anything other than the fact that they do something interesting that nothing else does. Funny. Not in a creepy way.
What I will say though is, I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, but when the final version of the game releases, those gnomes are actually supposed to be progression locked. They're not right now, so you won't be able to just buy them all in the beginning. Sorry.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
But you can eventually.
You have to earn them. You have to earn them. You got to work for them.
All right, how many more questions do we want to answer?
Well, I was going to see what you guys thought about me sharing some cat for Christmas. A sleepy cat.
Oh, hello.
Oh. I'm ruining things. Hello, Bagheera. This is Bagheera.
Hello, Bagheera.
I woke him up from a nap, so he's very sleepy.
He doesn't.
No, he loves me. What are you talking about? Look at that happy face.
Very happy.
I would say he's camera shy, but it's totally not true. Would I be able to cover up the glass in the modern style house? Like, you can put anything on the walls. So
inside and outside. At least right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, what's coming up next is the last treat for the day. It's an announcement that we've been working on for like the past 2 years, pretty much. It's something we have announced in the past.
It's not new.
Multiple times, but never in this capacity. It's never been as official as it has been. So we have a video message from a friend of ours.
A friend of ours.
That decided to record this for us. So we're very happy to have him record this and to play this for you guys. Some of you might know him. But yeah, let's go and have a look at the message from the friend.
What's going on, everyone? Kevin Espiritu here from Epic Gardening. I'm chilling in my front yard garden, which I almost modeled after some of the farming games I played as a kid, which is why I'm so excited to tell you that Epic Gardening is an official partner with SunnySide. So you're gonna see some really cool stuff in the game inspired directly from the garden you see right here. Some of the raised beds, the watering systems, even some characters in the game who you might recognize from our YouTube channel. So, our mission from the start has always been teach the world to grow. I actually learned a lot playing, farming video games as a kid, which inspired me to create this real world garden and farm that you see right here. I'm super excited. You're gonna see some really fun stuff coming up in this partnership as we get closer to launch. And as always, good luck in the garden and keep on growing.
And yeah, there it is, the friend. So this has been something Sydney's been working on ever since the start, so I'll just let you take it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's a really great example for me of like chase your ideas, chase your dreams, chase the crazy stuff that comes to you. And you know, forever ago, when I first hopped on with the project, I had kind of started trying to garden myself, and I was scouring YouTube looking for stuff, and Kevin over at Epic Gardening is one of the first people that I found to kind of try to teach me what I was doing wrong, and I started watching his videos regularly, and you know, I learned so much. I learned so much that I didn't know, and it was through that process that was like, farming games don't do it justice. Like, you don't really feel as inspired to grow your own stuff, or if you do feel inspired, you don't really like know all of the things that go into it and how complicated it can be. And you know, it was just, I was inspired, I guess, by Kevin. And so, you know, he had done a thing where he was talking about how he was inspired to garden by Stardew Valley, and I was like, he was inspired by video game, and then he inspired a video game. I was like, this would be so cool, you know, like what a great, I want to work with this guy. And so I just sent him an email. I was like, hey man, love your stuff. You know, what do you think of what we're doing? And he was excited and got back to us, and we've been working on it ever since. So he's definitely kind of unknowingly inspired a lot of stuff. Has knowingly helped us with some trying to figure out, you know, how plants work, or how we want to showcase stuff, or things that we want to do or give to you guys. And you know, I still watch all of the videos and stuff, and there are some things that we ended up pulling right into the game, like he said. So the birdies beds, the grow bags that he does, irrigation systems, which I don't think anybody's really gotten to play with yet. Stuff like water capture, and just like the whole idea of modern homesteading, which is so core and integral to how SunnySide was built, like that modernization thing. So anyway, I'm excited about it. We've got a whole bunch more stuff planned for next year that I'm excited for you guys. If you don't already follow Kevin and his team Epic Gardening, please, for the love of God, as soon as you're done here, go follow all that stuff. If you like farming, if you like gardening, if you like that lifestyle, their stuff is amazing. They've got Epic Gardening, they've got Epic Homesteading. They started up Jacques in the Garden, which is actually one of my favorites. He's like a cute little garden hermit. So it's they're doing great work over there, and I'm just really excited to work with them and see what happens. And yeah, I'm giddy. All right, Ray, say something. I'm feeling embarrassed now.
No, I was just getting the little photo up that we had.
Oh, right. Oh, and Ben's here. Hey, Ben. For anybody who doesn't know, Ben is one of our favorite people. Ben is our lawyer.
Yes.
And we would not have gotten where we are without him. So
he
big shout out to Ben.
Incredible things for us. And Ben, I'm so sorry. I've totally forgot to message you. But thank you so much for the almond toffee. Is that is that the name? I never tried it before.
Well, we call it English toffee.
Which is funny because it's not a thing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Delicious. Thank you so much. When we got that through the mail and I saw it, I felt so special. So thank you for that. But to circle back to Epic Gardening thing, yeah, so honored to first of all get that video message from Kevin at Epic Gardening. A big shout out to him and his team for really supporting us from as early as it was. And to just following through with it as well. There's so many times where you talk about these sort of partnerships and then the other person grows their business so incredibly large that they don't end up replying back to you. That was something that he could have absolutely done, but he didn't. And he kept in contact with us, and here we are 2 years later.
Just to give you guys an idea, when I first started communication with him, he had like 5 people on his team. It was like him and Jock and a couple garden hands, and I think he had like a social media person. And through the process of him, he joined our Discord a while back and has been helping us with stuff. And through that whole process of him helping us, Epic Gardening bought a seed company. They're the main provider of Birdie's raised beds in the United States. The grow bags, and they have like multiple people now who do videos for the channel. So he's got gardeners across the United States, and they've got like, I think he said like 80 people or something on their team, which is like insane to me. So in the time it took us to make this game, Kevin created like a huge business, and he could have very easily just been like, I don't have time for this, guys. Like, good luck. And he didn't. And the fact that they're still willing to support us and that they're as excited about this as we are. I feel like on both sides, neither one of us feels like we're giving enough to the partnership. So I'm really excited to see just like what happens. And he's a really creative dude, and I'm a really creative person, and I think combined, we're gonna do some really awesome stuff. So his goal is to get people growing their own food. My goal is to get people growing their own food. So I think together it's gonna be really awesome. So
I'm actually looking for it. There it is. What we have in the game, obviously we have them. Should we actually show the full? I think we can,
sure.
Right? Yeah. Nothing problematic with that.
The pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that we had to do was make sure that, like, hey, all this stuff can we put in the game? So that was some stuff that had to get finalized, but we've got a lot of stuff directly inspired from them. So we've got the raised beds, we've got the grow bags, some other stuff too.
And this is the cast in the game.
But
these are all the people who are in the
game.
Oh
yeah, and they're in the game. Yeah, I forgot about that. So you'll see them wandering around and looking at stuff, and so
they're all active at farmers markets as well.
Yeah, they're all going to be every farmers market. You will always see them because they have to be, right? It just makes sense. And so for anybody who's not familiar with like anime and stuff, in anime there's a really common trope for faceless characters. They're faceless background people who are just kind of nobody. They're not like important. They just kind of they're not like named characters, and this is usually what they look like. They're kind of stylized, but they're faceless. And so we had the ability to make some custom ones, and it was a quick turnaround, and so that was something that we wanted to see if they were interested in, and they were really excited about it. And there's actually another 2 faceless people in the game who you guys are familiar with. Do you have those handy?
I do not.
No. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So one of them is actually Ben, our lawyer, is actually one of our faceless people. I don't even know if he's seen it yet. And then the other one, I know he hasn't announced it.
We should just let him announce it himself, though, I think. Yeah.
Fine. I should message him real quick. Like, hey, dude.
Yeah.
Can we? There's another person who we'll coordinate with him when we kind of showcase that. But
let's just say that
there's
actually been very helpful in getting the word for SunnySide.
He's very important to us. Yeah. We also put some of our family members in there. So my father's in there. I think was your dad in there, or was somebody's grandfather?
Didn't model him now.
Oh, but there's just it was a cool thing. I know you saw the pictures. I wasn't sure if you'd seen the the 3D model yet. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited.
And
That's all.
yeah, we wanted to close with that. So thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been how long? It's been almost 2 hours, and it didn't feel like it.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. It was a lovely time for the last stream of 2023. 2024 is full of exciting things for us. More finales to SunnySide. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, all of us.
Yep. So also, I guess just happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with
Whatever
us.
you celebrate, hope you have a great time.
Or if you don't celebrate, I hope you have a nice week off of whatever job you have, because you deserve it. But yeah, we'll see you all next year. We'll see you guys in the Discord. Keep playing those playtests, those of you who have access, and see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Have a good year. Have a good holidays. Have a good holidays. Have good holidays.
Have one good holiday. You only get one.
Bye.